Hey guys, how are you all doing? Welcome to my channel. So, today we are gonna see, what if Naruto x his sisters x Hinata x female Sasuke x female Haku, part 2. So before we start, go check out the author of this fanfic, Gaim no Kaze, link is in the description. Also subscribe if you enjoyed the video. Let's start the story. The week has passed since Team 7 and 12 were officially formed. They always did 2D ranks together whenever they had missions. They would work together with one mission quickly, and go on to the next missions. So, the two teams were now holding the top record on D-rank missions. They even became famous due to Naruto solving the Tor mission problem. Flashback, Team 7 and 12 successfully captured Tor for what seemed like the 100th time. Naruto held the cat, as it seemed to dislike every other person in both teams. The cat always clawed at the girls whenever they tried to hold it. Now, the two teams are going to the Hokage Tower. They entered the office, as Kushina reported, minato complete, Hokage-sama. Minato nodded, and chuckled, Kushi-chan, you seriously don't need to call me that. Kushina smiled at him, but that would be favoritism wouldn't it? Minato nodded. Whenever Kushina had missions, she would address him as Hokage-sama, something that annoyed the man at first. Then, Daimyo's wife came in. Naruto gave her the cat, as she crushed the cat with her vice grip. The cat tried everything it could to escape, but failed. The girls of Team 7 and 12 all smirked evilly inwardly, as they all had similar thoughts. Suffer you damn cat, you deserve it for trying to scratch us, and get Oni-chan Naruto-kun's attention. Minato, Kushina, and Mikoto could only sweat drop, and sigh, as this had been happening from during their time. Naruto noticed the problem, and sighed, Shijimi-sama, I believe I have found the reason why Tor keeps running from you. Shijimi looked at Naruto, and asked, and why is that, may I ask? Naruto replied, if you would let me hold Tor for a moment. Shijimi complied, and handed Tor to him. Naruto then started to pat Tor gently, as it purred in his arms. You see, the way you hug Tor is painful for it. I know you want to express your love to Tor, but it makes it feel afraid whenever you try to hug it. Tor loves gentleness, and if you handle Tor with care, it might not run away from you. Shijimi nodded, as Naruto handed a reluctant Tor back to Daimyo's wife. Tor closed its eyes, and waited for the crushing hug, but instead, it felt the gentle petting it loved to receive from Naruto. Shijimi was surprised, as Tor became more relaxed in her hands, and didn't try to run away. Shijimi smiled at Naruto, and said, I thank you for telling me of my errors. I'll pay double for this, and you can expect more missions in the future. As the wife of the daimyo left, Naruto noticed the shocked looks from flashback end. At first, Minato was happy and disappointed at the same time. Happy that Tor was gone from the mission rosters, and disappointed for losing a good source of income. But that soon ended, as he received higher ranking missions from the daimyo at the same rate he received the Tor mission, which meant the income of missions and money had increased a lot. Minato thanked Naruto 1,000 times for that, and would have immediately promoted Naruto to Chunin if it wasn't for Naruto, saying he wanted to take the exams with his sisters. Now, Mikoto was talking with Kushina and Kakashi at a cafe. Kushina said, I think we should get a joint training session between the Genin teams. Kakashi nodded, I think we should include Asuma, Kurenai, and Gai's team. Give them some kind of interaction with future partners. Mikoto nodded. Over the week Team 7 and 12 formed, she had told her husband about Sasuke's behavior, and Fugaku gave Sasuke a beating session through a spar, and scolded him after the spar. Sasuke accepted the scolding, but still didn't really change his attitude. Maybe this joint training session would help with that. Kushina then continued, okay then, we'll have a joint training session for the Genin teams. Is tomorrow okay? Kakashi nodded. I'll tell Asuma, and Gai, Kushina ni, you can tell Kurenai, right? Kushina nodded, so we'll meet at training ground 7 then. Mikoto nodded, as the Cyclops went off to tell his fellow Jounin, while Kushina and Mikoto went to tell Kurenai. The next day, Naruto and his team were waiting at training ground 7. Then they saw Kiba, Shino, Sasuke, Sakura, Ino, Shikamaru, Chaoji, Niji whom they knew from visiting Hinata at the Hyuga compound, and 4 people they didn't recognize. Team 7 and 12 greeted Niji who greeted back. He then introduced his teammates, Lee and Tenten. Soon, Kushina, Mikoto, Kakashi, Kurenai, Asuma, and Gai appeared via Leaf Shunshin. Kushina said, okay, today you shall be having a team spar. Think of this as a training session. We'll now start with the spar. Your sensei will determine whom you will fight. Kakashi looked at Kushina. Kushina ni, I think I'll have my team fight yours. Kushina nodded. Asuma looked at Kurenai. Kurenai-chan, I want to make a bet with you. Kurenai raised an eyebrow, which is. Asuma smirked, if my team beats yours, you'll have to go on a date with me. The others rolled their eyes at this. Kurenai smiled, fine, but if you lose, you'll never get a date from me again, okay? Asuma nodded, it was all or nothing. I looked at Mikoto, I guess our teams will compete with their flames of youth. Mikoto sighed, and nodded. Kushina looked at the Genin, and said, so, there you have your opponents. So who wants to go first? Naruto looked at his sister's girlfriends, and nodded, we'll go first. Kushina nodded, the trees that are surrounding you are the limits of the ring. Everyone else will be watching outside of the trees. They all looked around and noticed there were trees making a circle. They nodded as the other teams left, leaving Team 7 and 11 with Kushina. Kushina said, "So, this starts now." Kushina then shunted away. None of the teams moved. Naruto then heard Hikari's voice on each hand. "I'm using a link Kyuubi extended to you, and don't talk out loud, just think the words to us. Now, Haruna-chan, and I will take on the Banshee and the other guy while you fight Sasuke, is that okay?" Naruto thought back, okay. Then, the three siblings jumped to Team 11. The team of idiots were surprised at the speed and barely dodged. Naruto slowly led Sasuke away from Sakura and the other guy. Haruna and Hikari were working together so well they dominated the battle. As if on cue, the same deep voice they heard occasionally from the academy was heard, dominating. Hikari kicked Sakura as Haruna jumped away from the boys' attacks, letting the attack hit Sakura who was just in the way. Sakura screeched, "Saibaka, watch where you're hitting." The boy known as Sai said nothing, as he continued trying to fight Haruna. The genin saw this, and shook their heads. Kushina looked at Kakashi. "Kakashi, don't tell me you never taught them anything." Kakashi replied, "I did teach them." Mikoto asked, "Which is it?" Kakashi replied, "I taught them teamwork exercises, they had no teamwork. So I had to teach them that before they could learn anything else." Asuma chuckled, as Kurenai sighed. In other words, if Naruto, Hikari, and Haruna separate them, the match is already theirs. They heard this, and just watched on. They then focused on Naruto, and Sasuke. Sasuke kept punching, and was dodged by Naruto. Sasuke yelled, "I'll show you who is the strongest, and Haruna will forget about you." Naruto said nothing, as he dodged. Soon, Sasuke started to get tired. Naruto smirked, and held the phase edge up, doing 2 of the kenjutsu techniques he learned from one of his senses from his travels. Naruto said, "Amajiri Shinmera." He turned, and slashed at the flames, completely dissolving them. Naruto then said, "Amajiri Shinmera-iken, 4 wasps." Naruto did stabs at Sasuke, as more cuts appeared. Naruto then suddenly appeared behind Sasuke, but instead of stabbing the Uchiha like he was supposed to do with the technique, he used the hilt of the phase edge, and hit Sasuke at the back of the head, rendering him unconscious. The and genin were wide-eyed at Naruto. The blonde had used the famous Amajiri Shinmei-ryu Kenjutsu style, that was only known by the Kiri no Shinobi-katana Shisunen Shu, so that would mean Naruto must have trained under one of them during his travels. This naturally got Tenten, who was a weapon fan, to go into the fangirl mode weapon version. She practically had stars in her eyes, as she saw Naruto do the Kenjutsu techniques. After beating Sasuke, Naruto then rushed back to help Haruna and Hikari. Sakura saw Naruto, and got mad. "What did you do to Sasuke-kun, Naruto baka?" Naruto said nothing, as Sakura charged him, completely forgetting Hikari was behind her. Soon, Sakura was beaten by the pair due to her foolishness. Sai was also soon beaten, as soon as Haruna started using the Hiraishin. After that, the Jounin and genin went back in. The Uzumaki Namika's siblings looked at Kakashi. Hikari then said, "Kakashi Nai, your team absolutely, positively sucks." This got snickers from the genin, as Kakashi just sweat-dropped and sighed. Then the next matches started. Team 8 won against Team 10, the only important ones are Team 7 and 12. As Kushina yelled, "Hajime." She jumped away, leaving Tsuki, Yuki, Hinata, Nichi, Tenten, and Lee. A dust ball that appeared out of nowhere rolled across in between the two teams, then they charged. Nichi and Hinata went into a heated Juken match, while the Uchiha sisters fought Lee and Tenten. Nichi and Hinata matched strike for strike, which surprised Nichi, as Hinata had improved leaps and bounds from their last spar. None knew any of the advanced Juken techniques. Hinata then yelled, "Haki Jurakusho." She sent a 16-combo Juken strike at Nichi, who was too close to dodge, and got a quarter of his shutdown. Nichi felt numb, and found his right arm unable to use it. So he settled on using his left hand. With the Jounin and genin, Guy was surprised, as Hinata was beating Nichi in Juken. Sasuke was talking with Kiba about the girls, which made Naruto resisting the urge to give them a beating. Others of the genin were interested in how Team 9 fought. As the Juken contest continued, Hinata then did something Nichi never expected. She moved around in one of the Juken styles developed by her mother, something none of the other Hyuga succeeded. Even Nichi, who attempted to learn from Hitomi, failed. Hinata slid around Nichi in a serene movement that the watchers all thought she was dancing. Naruto found himself unable to take his eyes off her, as he admired her movements. Nichi found himself unable to keep up, and was soon hit in the abdomen. He then fell unconscious. Imagine Wing Chun foot movements. With Tsuki, Yuki, Tenten, and Lee, Yuki engaged Lee in a Taijutsu match, which was in Lee's favor. Tsuki was fighting Tenten, who was throwing weapons, while Tsuki was spamming some of the lower ranking, but destructive Shinu, so the battle was in Tsuki's favor, as the weapons did little effect. Soon, Hinata joined the battle, and Lee was soon defeated. Yuki and Tsuki were now facing Tenten. They then made sets of hand signs, and yelled in unison, "Futen." To Topakaten. Kakaku no the wind empowered the flames, and knocked the weapons off course, and engulfed Tenten, who couldn't take the heat, and fainted. The match then ended with Team 12 as the winner. After the losing teams recovered, they were all given a lecture on the importance of planning, teamwork, and observation. They then scolded Team 11 for their bad teamwork, and if they were on a mission they would have died quickly. The other then asked Kakashi what he had taught them, only to receive the same answer he gave Kushina. Makoto glared. 2 weeks have passed since the joint training session. Kakashi, after the beatdown, took training his students a tad bit more seriously, and by that, I mean he still teaches them the teamwork exercises, only adding tree walking, water walking, and severally ranked ninjutsu, jinjutsu, and taijutsu. So, basically, Team 11 is by now the weakest genin team. He thinks they are the best in history. Anyway, enough about Team 11, and Team 7, and 12. The two teams have completed over 100 D-rank missions, mostly thanks to Naruto using Kage Bunshin after gaining permission from his parents. So, now the two teams are headed for the Hokage Tower for a new mission. As the teams entered the office, Minato smiled at the Team 7 and 12, ready for another day of D-rank missions. He stressed the vocal D, as he said it, and saw the wince. In the beginning, the two teams actually enjoyed the missions, something that none of the teams ever did well, unless they were who went on B to S rank missions that would result in death frequently. But even doing D ranks for so long would make anyone go crazy. That included Team 7 and 12. Minato, Kushina, and Makoto all laughed at their students' children's expressions. Minato, still laughing a bit, said, "I wanted to see that. You've already passed the requirements for a higher ranking mission. I think you should just take a C rank every time you take a mission anyway. So, here's a C rank. Tazuna-san, you can come in now." An old man came in with a sake bottle, with a towel around his neck. He saw the two, and said, "Akashai and Kuroi-shai, Hokage-sama, you're sending 2 S-rank shinobi." Minato smiled, and said, "Yes, they're taking their genin teams, so you're in safe hands." Tazuna nodded, satisfied that not only he had 2 S-rank shinobi to protect him, the fact they were hot was also a plus, though he wouldn't say it out loud, since one was the Hokage's wife, and they hate perverts besides their husbands. Kushina said, "So we'll meet at the gates tomorrow at 7. Okay." She got nods from everyone, as they left to pack. Naruto went to his room, and got a week's clothing, and by that, it's just 3 sets of shinobi clothes, and 1 set of sleeping clothes. After putting them into sealing scrolls, he took several dozens of ramen cups, and placed them into more scrolls. He then stuck the scrolls onto the auto-vagin. Hikari, Yuki, Tsuki, Hinata, and Haruna packed the same, a large tent for 1, 2, and 3 people in Hinata, Yuki, Tsuki, Hikari, and Haruna's cases respectively, 3 sets of clothing, and a set of sleeping clothes each. They then went to train for the day, with the Uzumaki Namika's siblings practicing the Hiraishin with their father, the Uchiha sisters training with their mother, and Hinata sparring with her father. Next day, the two teams waited at the gates, waiting for the old man known as the Super Bridge Builder Tazuna. Soon, the old man reached the gates, and saw a group of annoyed females, and one Uzumaki Namika's Naruto reading a black book. Hikari had a tick mark, and asked, "You're late, Tazuna-san. Don't you know never keep ladies waiting?" Tazuna said awkwardly, I got lost on the road of life." The females all face faulted, as Naruto snickered. Makoto got up, and sighed, "Never mind, let's just start moving. It'll take at least 2 days to reach Nami no Kuni, since we have to move at civilian pace." Soon, they were on the road. As they walked, Naruto felt 2 chakra signatures he hadn't felt in 3 years. He looked around, and found the source of the chakra, a small puddle. He wanted to fasten him, as there were only 2 people he knew would be so stupid to use such a disguise. He looked at the puddle. "Gozumaizu, seriously, of all the choices you chose a puddle when it hasn't rained for days. Get out here." Kushina and Makoto were surprised. They were not surprised by the fact 2 missing nin appeared from the puddle. No, they were surprised Naruto knew them. Baozu and Maizu laughed. "Naruto, long time no see bro." Naruto sighed. "So, are you waiting for someone?" Maizu noticed Tazuna. "Actually, we were hired by Geto to kill him. But seeing as you're here, we might as well tell the boss to call off the contract. I'm sure with you here he'll do it without a doubt. Plus the boss is pissed at Geto anyway." Naruto sighed again. "Lem guess, this mate passes at Haku-chan." Maizu nodded. Naruto shook his head. "Never mind, so we're headed to Nami. You coming with us or you're gonna go back to tell them?" Maizu laughed. "Nope, we're coming with you. Boss is hiding in front of us in case we were beaten by someone." Naruto nodded. "Of course." He said it sarcastically. The girls were dumbfounded. Here was Naruto conversing with 2 missing nin like they were old buddies, which they were. Kushina asked, "Naruto, how do you know these 2? Makoto and the girls nodded. "Yes, we'd like to know, as well." Maizu answered, "You see, the boss and we were chased by an onion from Kiri, and we found Naruto's room by chance in a hotel. We asked him to help us hide. We thought he'd sell us out to the onion, but he let us into the room, and let us stay there for the time. He even went as far to lie to the onion to help us. We owe him our lives." The girls, Kushina and Makoto nodded. Kushina said, "Fine, I wanna see who this boss of yours is. But if you 2 try anything, we'll kill you." The 2 missing nin nodded. As they walked, Tazuna would occasionally look at the 2 in fear. Naruto asked, so, Tazuna, what did you do to have Gato hire them? Maizu chuckled. Apparently this old man here is building a bridge that'd save Nami from Gato. The short idiot thought he'd have us kill him. Seriously, I'm surprised the dick hasn't thought of bombing the bridge when it's done, which would have made you lose resources, and put you in a worse state. Tazuna paled at the thought, as he never thought of it. Gaozu then said, we're here. The group of 11 people found themselves in front of a huge amount of mist. Gaozu and Maizu smirked at Naruto, who smirked back. They then flared their chakra. The mist dissipated as a man came out. Mikoto and Kushina's eyes whitened at the man. The man sighed. I was going to ask the two idiots why they came back, but I see I found the reason. Been 3 years, hasn't it, Naruto? Haku miss you a lot. Naruto smiled at the man. Yes, 3 years. I miss her too, Zabuza-sensei. The man now known as Zabuza shook his head. I prefer if you don't call me that anymore. I stopped being your sensei since we parted ways. I was hoping you'd call me how you used to before I took you on, as an apprentice. Naruto chuckled. Fine, Zabuza-nai. Zabuza laughed. That's more like it. Haku, get out here. He yelled the last part towards the trees on his left. Suddenly, a blur of white and pink flew and tackled Naruto, causing him and the person to fall to the ground. Naruto laughed. Miss you too, Haku-chan. The masked girl stood up and pulled Naruto up. She took off the mask, revealing a beautiful face, and pouted at Naruto. You never write to us, Naruto-kun. Made me think you forgot about us. The girls from Konoha all glared at Haku's closeness with Naruto. They all noticed how Naruto seemed more at ease than how he acted in Konoha. It was like he was with family, open, warm, and happy, unlike back in Konoha, where he was still happy, but colder, and more guarded even if it was a little bit. Kushina and Mikoto also noticed this, and felt a bit sad. Naruto then asked, so, Zabuza-nai, what are you gonna do now? Zabuza replied, I'm gonna call off the deal with Gato. We'll follow you, and help protect Tazuna. I'm sure this'll make that short asshole go to the bridge himself. I want to kill him anyways. Naruto nodded and replied, he made passes at Haku-chan, right? Haku nodded. It made me feel dirty. Naruto nodded, guess that settles it. We'll all go to Tazuna's house and protect him. If Gato comes, we'll kill him, and if he doesn't, we'll take the fight to him. Zabuza, Haku, Gaozu, and Maizu nodded. Zabuza then noticed the others. He stuttered when he saw Mikoto and Kushina, Ayaka shy, and Kuroi shy. What are you two doing here? Kushina and Mikoto wanted to laugh at Zabuza's shocked face, well, eyes, as his face is mostly covered by his mask. Naruto said before they could say anything, Kaze-san and Mikoto-sama are our team sensei. We took on a joint mission to protect Tazuna from Nami. Zabuza looked at Naruto, shocked again. You never told me your mother was Uzumaki Kushina. Wait, that means you're Yondaime Hokage's son. Naruto nodded, as if it was nothing. Haku was shocked since Naruto was practically the prince of Konoha. Tazuna was annoyed now. He said, so, can we move? The distance between my house and our position won't shorten itself, you know. Kushina nodded. Fine, let's talk when we reach our destination. Naruto then said before they could move, wait, I have an idea how to get there today. I'll get the auto wagon and let Tazuna ride with me while you guys move at shinobi speed. That's okay. Everyone found it acceptable and nodded while the girls secretly wanted to ride with Naruto. Soon, Naruto was riding the auto wagon with Tazuna sitting behind him, enjoying the wind beating on his face. The others were jumping from tree to tree before running on the ground, as there were no more trees to jump on. They soon arrived at the seaside that would have Nami at the opposite side. The group stopped before Kushina, and Mikoto said, girls, you know the water walking technique, right? We'll use it to walk across. Getting nods, Kushina looked at her son, so, Naru-chan, how are you gonna get your bike across? Naruto smirked, and said nothing. He then drove the bike towards the water. Tazuna waited for the water to reach his feet, but it never came, as he soon found the bike to be moving on the water. Tazuna asked, what the hell is that? Naruto chuckled, as he saw everyone also wanted answers. I applied the water walking onto the wheels. I only need to regulate the chakra, as the wheels are constantly rolling. It was hell at the beginning, and I had to get the auto wagon into battle mode whenever I sank. The others nodded, and they soon reached the other end of the shore. They then noticed a large half-completed bridge. Zabuza whistled appreciatively. Wow, that is one large bridge. And you managed to build that much in a few days. Tazuna smiled proudly. Yes, that is my current masterpiece, for a bridge anyway. Would have been quicker if we had more than 20 people, and our numbers are decreasing quickly, as they fear Gato. I think we have only 15 now. The others listened, as they continued moving. Tazuna then pointed to a double-story house. That's my house. Come on. He got off the bike, and ran to the door. He knocked on the door, and yelled, Tsunami-chan, I'm back. The door opened, and revealed a woman in her 20s. She had an apron on her, and had a pretty face, as well. Naruto looked at her, and back at Mikoto. He asked, Mikoto-sama, the two of you look alike a lot. The woman looked at Mikoto, and smiled. It's been a long time, hasn't it, Mikoto? Mikoto smiled back. 13 years, Tsunami. Yuki and Suki asked, Ka-chan, you know her? Mikoto looked at her daughters. Know her? Suki-chan, Yuki-chan, this is your aunt. She was disowned by the Uchiha because she couldn't activate her Sharingan before the required age. Tsunami nodded. I only activated it 5 years ago. Just a few years after Tusan adopted me with the adoption ritual. Zabuza looked at Tazuna in shock. You did the adoption ritual. That hasn't been done in decades. Tazuna nodded. Well, I wanted to have a daughter, a true-blooded one. So when I found Tsunami on the streets, I took her in. She was, and still is the best thing that happened in my life. He even gave me a grandson. Mikoto smiled at her long-lost sister. So, you married, so where's my brother-in-law? Tsunami suddenly had a sad look. Naruto recognized the look along with every adult present. Naruto said, he's dead, isn't he? Just then, a boy had walked down, and heard him. The boy gritted his teeth, and yelled, what do you know? You shinobi had good lives at your homes while we had to suffer at Gato's hands. My father got himself killed for just standing up to that asshole. You talk, as if you know what it's like to lose someone, you know nothing. The boy turned to leave, but was stopped, as the temperature dropped severely. Naruto then unleashed Kai so huge it made the civilians fall to the ground. It even made the missing nin, and two sweat. Naruto walked to the boy, and picked him up by the collar, so that the boy was looking right into Naruto's glowing eyes. Naruto said calmly, but you could feel the anger. Listen, kid, if it's about losing someone you care about, I had to watch the person I cared for get tortured in front of me before getting killed in the most brutal way I ever saw. The person was like a father to me, even more than my biological father. You lost your father who was killed by Gato, killed by a stab. Yes, I know how Kaze was killed in Nami. I watched my own father figure burned, poisoned, electrocuted, stabbed, whipped, put an arrow to a wound making it worse, and much more. Before being killed by being buried in the ground leaving the head above, kicked multiple times until his head came off. I had to watch this before Zabuza and the others saved me. So don't bitch around about losing someone you cared for, stand up, and get back at that damn motherfucker who killed your father like I did with the people who killed the person I cared for. Naruto then lifted the killing intent, and walked out. The people from Konoha were shocked while Zabuza, Haku, Maizu, and Gaozu were donning sad faces. Kushina asked, what did Naruto mean when he said he saw his father figure was killed? Zabuza looked at the others, as they nodded. He then opened his mouth to speak. After we met Naruto, we met another man named Narumi. He was cold to us, but he was kind and warm. He and Naruto developed a father-son relationship after he saved Naruto from death. But the two got captured by an Iwanin. He killed Sakichi, and Naruto let himself loose. He killed several whole teams of Iwanin by himself in less than a minute, and would have killed even more if the Yonbi Jinchuriki didn't interfere. Naruto succeeded to kill the man who killed Sakichi though. He ripped the man's heart out, and crushed it before crushing the brain. I've never seen someone at a young age kill like that. It was also why he ended up in the bingo book. He would have killed Han if Itsuchikage didn't join the fight. With the kid saying those stuff, he opened up the painful memories Naruto spent a few weeks trying to forget. If Haku wasn't there, I can't think how Naruto would have ended up. Haku looked at the other girls from Konoha, and they had a silent agreement. Together, the girls went to look for the boy they loved and cared for. They soon found the blonde in the middle of the forest in phase from slashing and punching at trees, with the phase shot and phase edge, completely destroying the area, as he yelled out in frustration, trying to forget that day. Soon, he fell by a tree, and began to break down into tears. The girls quickly moved, and hugged him, whispering words to soothe him. Naruto soon fell asleep whispering, thank you. Before unconsciousness fully embraced him. The girls smiled at him lovingly, as they carried him back to Tazuna's home, and placed him in a spare room before lying down with him. The next day, Naruto woke up, and saw his sister's lovers, the Uchiha sisters, Hinata, and Haku sleeping by him. He thought about what had happened yesterday, and smiled, I'm happy they care for me. Maybe I can get Haku-chan to follow me back to Konoha when this is over. Naruto sat up, and this woke the girls up. Hinata asked, so, how are you feeling today, Naruto-kun? Naruto smiled, I'm fine now, thanks to you girls. The girls blushed, but were happy they could help him. Naruto got off the bed, and changed, as the girls went to the bathroom to change. After that, the 7 teenagers went down, and saw Kushina, Mikoto, Zabuza, Miai's, Gaozu, Tazuna, the boy, and Tsunami sitting there. Tsunami was telling the boy, Inari, you remember when I told you I was once from Konoha? The boy known as Inari nodded, as Tsunami continued, you see, we're from a clan, the Uchiha clan more specifically. There's a rule where if an Uchiha is unable to activate their bloodline, they will be banished. Do you follow me? Inari nodded again. Tsunami said, I failed to activate it before the required age, and was exiled. You have an aunt, Inari, and that is her, Mikoto. Inari looked at Mikoto, and a thought came. He asked, wait, if you're my aunt, then does that mean they're my cousins? He pointed to Yuki and Suki when he said the last part. Mikoto nodded in response. Inari saw Naruto, and walked to the teen, Naruto-san. I'm sorry about yesterday, I didn't mean to make you remember the past. Naruto looked at the boy, you just said it, it's the past. I needed to get it off of me anyway. To be honest, I should be thanking you for that. It made me feel more at ease now. Inari just stared at the older boy, unsure what to say or do. Naruto then said, "So, shall we have breakfast?" Tsunami smiled at the boy and handed the teen several plates of food. After that, the two teams plus missing Nin and Tazuna headed to the bridge. Naruto was playing with the SB555W Axle watch and the phase pointer. Suki and Yuki were chatting with Haku, Hinata, Haruna, and Hikari. The two were asking Zabuza about Naruto's time with them, while Gaozu and Maizu were playing with their gauntlets. Then they noticed a man walking up to Tazuna. The man said, "I'm sorry Tazuna, but I really can't keep this up. Geto will know who's building and killing us. He might even be planning to kill our families. I'm sorry Tazuna, but I can't help anymore." Tazuna sighed. "Fine, Gichi, you may leave." Naruto put away his gadgets and walked to the old man. "So, how many is it?" Tazuna sighed. "He is the 12th. Naruto asked, "So, how many do you need?" Tazuna asked, "What do you mean?" Naruto sighed and said, "How many more people do you need?" Tazuna replied, "I need at least 50 to complete it by the weekend. And that's pushing it." Naruto smiled and said, "I can get you 100. Tazuna had his eyes widened. "How?" Naruto smirked. The shinobi present knew what he was about to do. Naruto made a hand seal and said, "Kage Bunshin no Jutsu." 100 clones then poofed into existence. Naruto looked at Tazuna. "They know basic construction skills, so you can tell them to do whatever you want. Good luck." Naruto then walked back to the group, as his clones were soon busy helping build the bridge. The group smiled at him. Well, Zabuza and the Onikai Dai smirked at him anyway. They then went back to their own stuff. Unknown location. Ito was seething. He had just received news that Zabuza and his group had gone with Tazuna. The fact that Tazuna now had 2 S-rank shinobi, hot ones at that to protect him, 2 A-rank shinobi, and 2 C-rank shinobi, as well to protect him didn't help. Geto was thinking of who to hire to kill them. Then, a thug came in. "Boss, a man named Orochimaru wanted to meet you." Geto raised an eyebrow. An S-rank Nukenin wanted to meet him. That was new. It was usually him that wanted to meet Nukenin. He told the thug to let him in, and in came a pale long-haired man with tattoos right below his eyes. Geto said, "So, what do I owe the pleasure of meeting the great Orochimaru?" Orochimaru smirked. "I'm here to make an offer. I hear the Yondaime Hokage's family is protecting someone you want to kill." After hearing the deal, Geto smirked. "You have a deal, bro." Orochimaru smirked as well. He thought, "Soon, Minato theme. You will lose everyone that you care for. Maybe I can capture his son and daughters. The boy will make a good host if not Madara's descendant. The Akatsuki will lay me off if I get them the Jinchuriki." Back with the group, Tazuna and the clones were done for the day. They had already completed what should be done tomorrow, so the progress was astounding. It was evening now, and Naruto was training with the phase pointer. Standing in front of him were 30 enforced clones that would have to hit where a normal person would be killed. In phase form, Naruto slid the mission memory into the phase phone and pressed enter on it. The phone announced, "Exceed charge." Energy gathered in his left foot as Naruto jumped up and kicked. A beam hit a clone as it expanded into a drill. Then, Naruto appeared behind the clones as they poofed out of existence. The girls were helping Tsunami get the groceries for dinner, while Zabuza and Tazuna were having a drinking contest. Kushina was on guard duty, while the Onikai Dai were teaching Inari about shinobi stuff and adult stuff. The girls got back and noticed a blushing Inari and knew what had happened. Suki and Yuki glared at the 2 demon brothers, Maizu, Gaozu. "You didn't teach our little cousin about stuff he shouldn't know, did you?" The 2 laughed. "No, of course not." With Inari's blush, Suki and Yuki only looked at the 2 brothers. The girls said one word, "Run." They did, as the Uchiha sisters chased the 2 for corrupting their new little brother, to which the men called it education. Naruto came in and saw the scene. The other girls said, "Don't ask." He complied, as the 2 older Uchiha sisters prepared dinner. Soon, the group future family were having a relaxing dinner. Well, Zabuza is Haku's adoptive father, Maizu, and Gozu are Haku's adoptive brothers. Tsunami is Mikoto's sister who is Suki and Yuki's mother, so that makes Tazuna their grandfather in a way. Naruto is going to be with Haku, Yuki, Suki, Hinata, Hikari, and Haruna, Kyubi, Kin, and Teiya, so they'll eventually become one large family. After dessert, they went to rest for the next day. Next day, Naruto woke up and noticed he was sleeping alone. He went down and saw Tsunami and Inari working on shinobi skills. Tsunami was training in the Uchiha stance, while Inari was trying to access chakra. In front of them 2 thugs, Naruto looked at the Tsunami questioningly. She said, "What? Just because I was exiled and lived a civilian life doesn't mean I can't have shinobi training. And they wanted to let you sleep, you can go to the bridge, I can handle thugs anyway." Naruto nodded and mounted the auto-vagin and sped towards the bridge. As soon as he reached there, Geto appeared. Zabuza growled, "Geto." Geto smirked, "I see you betrayed our contract, Zabuza. Gives me a reason to kill you now. Guys, transform. This is a little gift from Orochimaru." The men behind him wore suits and hats. But what caught Naruto and Kushina's attention were the belts on their waists. There were orange-brown belts with devices that looked like when the phase phone was before it was pushed down into the slot of the phase driver. The man said, "Henshin." Their belts announced, "Complete." Now stood hundreds of riot troopers, black and orange in color. Naruto and Kushina materialized their own belts. Kushina dialed 913 and pressed enter while Naruto dialed 555 and pressed enter. Their belts announced, "Complete." They then transformed into Kaze and phase respectively. Kushina and Naruto drew their swords as Gato flicked his hand. The riot troopers charged, as did the group of shinobi. Naruto and Kushina were doing well against the riot troopers. Naruto and Kushina slashed, but found killing them hard. Zabuza was slashing at the troopers, and found it took more than a slash to kill them. As for the Haku and Demon Brothers, they were having a hard time attacking, as the numbers were too much. They were holding their own, as the riot troopers were only fake imitations of what the real rider gear could do. Suddenly, a few riot troopers solidified mission memories into their Axle Ray gun blade mode, and charged at Haruna and Hikari with their energy-filled blades. Naruto noticed this, and ran at them. He slid the mission memory into the phase phone, and went into Axle form. But he had reached them before he could press the button, taking the stabs in Hikari and Haruna's place. The girls saw this, as Naruto fell down, the phase suit dissolving, reverting Naruto back into human form. The girls yelled in fear, "Naruto-kun Oni-chan." Everything Naruto saw became a blur, then he saw black. Kushina, Mikoto, Zabuza, and the Onikai dialect in disbelief, shock, and fear, as Naruto fell. Hikari and Haruna saw red. Kyubi roared, as she shouted, "Go, kill them for hurting our mate." The two sisters then released a huge wave of red chakra, as the red chakra surrounded them, forming a silhouette of a humanoid fox with one tail. They then charged, and killed the troopers one by one. Inside Naruto's mind, he found himself floating in black space. He thought, "Am I dead?" A dark voice said, "No, but you will be. You are now in the middle of the realm of life and death. Tell me, do you want to live?" Naruto thought, "How? I'm dead already." The voice said, "I told you, we are in the realm where you are neither alive nor are you dead. You will have to make a choice, go to the dead, and wait for your loved ones or go back, and protect your precious people at a price." Naruto thought, "At what price?" The voice replied, "The cost of humanity. You will retain your personality. But you will become an orphanage, something that is neither human nor monster." Naruto asked, "What's the catch?" The voice laughed, "Clever, at least you know everything has a price. Unlike the other Uzumaki I've seen. For that, there is no price for you, as you pass my test. Normally I'll tell them they'll know when the time comes, and take away their sanity when they return. But seeing you pass my test, I'll let you keep it." Naruto thought, "But what's stopping you?" The voice laughed again, "I like you, Gaki. I swear it in my honor, and my pride to not take anything from you. You only need to take control of your new power should you accept it." Naruto thought, "If it lets me protect my loved one, I'll accept it." The voice laughed again, "Good, then on this day forward, you shall be known not only as Kamen Rider Phase, Uzumaki Namikaze Naruto. Starting from today, you will live on, as the Kyoryu Orphanage." Outside, Naruto floated up, gaining the attention of everyone, including the rage-driven sisters. Naruto then opened his eyes, as marks appeared on his face. He then transformed. Now stood a figure, gray in color. He had a triangular-shaped helmet-like object on his head, claws, and spikes on his shoulders, and fins on the back of his waist. But what stood out most was the three symbols that were on Naruto's chest. The symbols formed a circle, with a pterodactyl at the top, a triceratops on the middle, and a tyrannosaurus on the bottom, signifying Naruto symbolized a dinosaur. For the first few seconds, Naruto was in control. But he suddenly stiffened before he felt the energy taking over. He then let out a primal roar, as he lost control, his white-gray eyes turning totally black. Naruto looked at the troopers, and let out a surge of energy, causing ice to spread over the ground, and encase the troopers. Surprisingly, the ice only continued over the ground when it reached the Konoha ninja, missing Nin, and Tazuna. Haku was the most surprised. She thought, Naruto-kun can use Hyoten. Then the ice exploded, killing several troopers, and by several I mean he killed half of the riot troopers. Wings sprouted out of Naruto's shoulders, as he flew up, and came back down, creating a shockwave that decimated more troopers. Now there were only 100 troopers standing. The shoulder spikes then shot out, impaling 10 of the troopers. He then flapped the wings at the impaled troopers, blasting icy wind at them, and encasing them in ice once more. But this time, the ice didn't explode. The fins on the backside of Naruto merged, and formed a large tail, as he turned, and swung, slamming into the troopers, instantly shattering them to pieces. Naruto then raised his right hand, and slammed it into the bridge, shocking Tazuna, as he feared for his creation. The shock soon subsided, as the bridge was fine when Naruto pulled his hand out holding an axe. Energy surged into the axe, as Naruto pushed the T-Rex-shaped lever, and turned it into a gun. Naruto then released a large blast of energy from the axe-turned gun, instantly killing the remaining troopers. The deep voice then announced, "Alter kill." Naruto slowly walked towards Gato, who was standing there in fear. Naruto grabbed him by the neck and raised him up, pulling his hand back and thrust into the man's chest, pulling out the heart before crushing it in his own hands. Then, Naruto threw Gato on the ground before placing his foot on the midget's head and stepped. Blood splattered everywhere as the brain was crushed to bits. Zabuza and the Onikaitai felt like they were watching what happened in Iowa again. The girls and Tazuna were green from the blood, while Kushina and Makoto were shocked by the sheer brutality Naruto displayed. Then, sounds of vomiting were heard. Everyone turned and saw a bunch of villagers standing there with pitchforks and shovels, vomiting at the scene. Naruto stiffened again, as his eyes turned back to gray-white, breathing heavily. He heard a voice from within his mind, "Next time, King, you'll be doing the job. I'll tolerate you for a while since we care for the same people, but if you fail like today, I'll take over. Remember, I'm watching." Then the presence disappeared. Naruto, still in Kyoryu orphanage form, looked at the others and saw the fear etched in their faces. He focused and turned back into human before walking towards the girls. As soon as he reached them, he fell, as the energy he unleashed took its toll. The girls quickly held him and prevented him from falling. Zabuza asked, "What in the nine hells was that?" Kushina replied in a soft voice, "The orphanage form, a form when someone from our clan dies. They might be given a chance to come back to life, but if deemed unworthy, they become insane, something no one has done. Also something I had hoped to never be seen in Naruto." Inside the Uzumaki Namika's sisters, the Kyuubi thought, Naruto-kun awakened his orphanage form. This is gonna be so much trouble, though I'm grateful he accepted. I'll have to visit his mind sometime. 2 days have passed since the incident at the bridge. While Naruto had brutally slaughtered the troopers of Gato and totally butchered the tyrant himself, the residents of Nami treated him like a hero. Wherever he went in the village, they thanked him. Plus he already had a fan group, consisting of worshippers who wanted to be like Naruto, and to the eye of Hikari, Haruna, the Uchiha's sisters, Hinata, and Haku, fangirls. So Naruto learned the horror of fangirls Sasuke, and Itachi had to endure. With Kushina and Zabuza on guard duty, plus Naruto's clone speeding up the bridge construction, we now see Naruto running from a group of fangirls with his sisters, the Uchiha's sisters, Hinata, and Haku following behind. Back in Konoha, Itachi and Sasuke thought, "My fangirl senses are tingling, someone has become one of us, tormented by fangirls. I feel sorry for him." Back to Nami, Naruto finally lost the fangirls with a dozen cage bunshin, and was heading back to Tanzania's home with the girls. Inside Hikari and Haruna's mind, Kyuubi said, "Hikari-chan, Haruna-chan, I'm gonna have to talk to Naruto-kun, and go to his mindscape for a while later at night. So I'll be bringing him to your mindscapes to tell him later." "Okay." The girls nodded, as they reached Azuna's house. Once Naruto sat on the couch, everything disoriented, and formed his sister's mindscapes. He saw Kyuubi, and asked, "Okay Kyuubi, what's up?" The Kyuubi smiled, and said, "First off, I have a name, all Bijuu have names, the Kyuubi is, but a title, my name is Kasumi." Well, since Doa's Kasumi is a perfect description of what the Kyuubi should look like, why not just use the name? And for the reason I called you here, well, one is to tell you we're gonna take care of that problem, of yours for the lack of a better word. The second is, well, kinda like you. Naruto raised an eyebrow, "Kinda like me?" Kasumi blushed, "Okay, I love you." Naruto thought, never thought the great Kyuubi would be flustered like that. Kasumi was having similar thoughts, why the hell am I blushing? Why the hell am I stuttering? I'm the queen of Bijuu, goddammit. Damn you too, Sama, for this. Naruto was curious why Kasumi would love him, and asked, "So, would you be so kind as to tell me how you came to love me?" Kasumi blushed a deeper shade of red, rivaling one of Hinata, and said softly, "Well, I've seen how your parents treated you, and ignored you for your sisters. Yet you still love them. You may act cold, and sometimes an emo, but you hold a warmth and kindness behind them. From all the years I've lived, you're the second person I've seen to ever possess this kind of personality. That's what made me fall for you." Naruto's eyes softened. "I see, so, who was the first person?" Kasumi replied, "My father, the Rakuto Sennin, Otsutsuki Hagoromo." Naruto's eyes whitened. He was actually having a conversation with Kyuubi, daughter of the Rakuto Sennin. Then, a bright flash of chakra appeared. The flash died down, and revealed an old man, wearing robes with 2 horns. He held a black staff with rings in it. Kasumi said, "Well," stuttered T2-sama. The sage smiled at his eldest daughter. "Been a long time, hasn't it, Kasumi?" Kasumi was surprised and confused, but how? Naruto stood in silence, as he watched the father and daughter, albeit an incredibly old father and daughter pair, converse. Hagoromo explained, "When you all gathered in the circle during my final moments, I injected an amount of chakra that would never deplete until the day I deemed fit to reveal myself. It was just like I predicted, all of you had gone into the paths of rampage in the human world. I'm quite disappointed that my sons never did listen to my teachings, though the 9 of you were better. You at least tried to pass my teachings. I place myself into each of you so that when you find the thing that would lead you away from the wrong path, in your case, anger and hatred, I would appear. The thing you found is quite the opposite of anger and hatred, love and kindness. Seriously, of all my descendants, I never expected to ever see one like you. Uzumaki Namikaze Naruto, or should I call you Kai or your orphanage? Naruto didn't say anything, he was just awed by the aura Hagoromo released. The father-daughter pair saw his gobsmacked expression, and laughed. Hagoromo said, "It seems that I have become a mere myth nowadays." "Never mind, I trust you will treat my daughter well," Kamen Rider phase. Naruto nodded, with a still surprised face. Hagoromo then faced his eldest daughter, Kasumi-chan. "You are actually the first to pass the requirements. I'm proud of you. Live on, be happy the way you should be. I will always be watching you all in Kami-sama's court. Well, my time is up. I'll see you when you go to heaven." The legendary sage then dissolved into nothingness. Kasumi then broke down, as she once again lost her father. Naruto thought, as Kasumi cried into his chest, "She looks so vulnerable now. It seems we all have misjudged them. They're just like us, just like humans, with emotions and all. Well, I'm not a human now anyways." Kasumi finished crying, and let go of Naruto. She looked at Naruto. "If I ever get out of here, you won't say a thing about just now. I do have my reputation. And only you will see this side of Kappas." Naruto nodded, and Kasumi then said, "Now, you should go. We'll take care of your problem later at night." Naruto then found himself back on the couch of Tazuna's house, the time still the same, just a few seconds passed in the evening. Then he heard the Tsunami yell, "Dinner's ready." The whole group then went to eat dinner. Naruto asked, "So, Inari, how's the chakra going?" Inari smiled, "I finally got access to it. I even succeeded in activating my Sharingan, see?" He opened his eyes to show the Sharingan with one Tomo. His cousin smiled at him, as they too had been like that when they activated their own. Soon, the group happily chatted, as they enjoyed dinner. After that, Naruto went to sleep, and found Hikari, Haruna, Tsuki, Yuki, Haku, and Hinata sleeping beside him, all in almost see-through nightgowns, which made Inari who walked by looking through the half-open door blush. Naruto saw the boy, and told him to close the door quietly, to which the boy complied. He too was blushing, as he saw the girls' perfect figures. Calming his nerves, he went to sleep, slipping into the mindscape where Kasumi was waiting. Naruto opened his eyes, and saw Kasumi in the familiar sewers. He asked, "So, how are we gonna get to my mindscape?" Kasumi smiled, "Just focus on yourself. All I need to do is touch you, and you will need to focus on going to your mind." Naruto nodded, as Kasumi placed her hand on his shoulder, then he focused. He heard Kasumi say, "Wow, this is a whole lot better than Hikari-chan and Haruna-chan's mind." Naruto opened his eyes, and saw a lush green plain with forests surrounding it. At the far ends were two mountains with the symbol and a chest plate symbol of his orphanage form on the other mountain, each with a cave. Kasumi and Naruto nodded to each other, as they walked towards the orphanage mountain, and entered the cave. They soon found themselves looking at a large statue of Naruto's orphanage form. In front of them also sat a boy that looked like Naruto. The only difference was the hair was totally black, and he wore weird robes, Ichi's clothes. The boy saw the two, and smirked, "Ah, King, fancy meeting you here. And I see you brought Kasumi-chan. Let me introduce myself, I am another side of the king here. I would say I am Naruto, but that'd be trouble. So I came up with my own name, Kinzaki. So, what do I owe the pleasure?" Kasumi frowned when he said her name. "First off, you would use my name, and second, we're here to take care of you." Kinzaki laughed, "I see, fine. If the king defeats me in battle, we'll merge, and he won't go berserk anymore. Though I doubt he can, shall we?" Naruto said nothing, as he immediately transformed into Phase, and Kinzaki went into the orphanage form. Phase drew the phase edge, and charged Kinzaki who drew the Madagabiryu. Blades clashed. As they parried, Kinzaki was forced to jump away, as Kasumi shot her tails, and would have impaled him if he didn't. Kinzaki laughed, and he said, "So unfair, you two are teaming up on me. I'll change that." He then built a large wall that separated Naruto and Kinzaki from Kasumi. Kasumi shouted, "No." As she kept hitting the wall, trying to break it to no avail. Kinzaki laughed, "So, it's now you and me." Naruto said nothing, as he prepared himself. The next few moments were bad for Naruto. He held his own, but he could never land a hit. As for Kinzaki, he could land a hit every once in a while, but was otherwise evenly matched with Naruto. Kinzaki asked, "You said you wanted to protect our precious people, but you can't even defeat me. How are you going to do that?" Naruto gritted his teeth. Kinzaki continued, "The way you are now, you will soon end up like on the bridge." Naruto yelled, "Shut up. What would you know?" "The luck blades," Kinzaki shouted back, "I know everything. I am you, I have every one of our memories. You said you protect them, but how when you have only this much power?" Naruto felt a burst of energy, but shrugged it off. "I will stand up when I fall, I will become stronger, no matter what way I use, I will protect my precious people." Naruto then felt the burst of energy, only larger. Kinzaki and Kasumi's eyes whitened, as they felt the energy erupting from the mountain, and Naruto at the same time. Then, a flash of light appeared, as the phase blaster appeared in front of Naruto. Kinzaki was shocked. "How? You weren't supposed to have it until you went into the mountain." Naruto reached out, and grabbed the phase blaster. Then he appeared in a white plane. In front of him stood a red-haired man. The man said, "Uzumaki Namikaze is Naruto. I am Uzumaki Takumi, the first phase. Your determination, well, you don't know about it, is strong. You accepted the deal like almost all of us, and you didn't go insane. We deem you ready to awaken your blaster form. Go, defeat, and conquer him." Naruto nodded, and he appeared back in the cave. He took the phase blaster, and dialed 555, and pressed enter. Then he slid the phase phone into the slot. The device was announced, standing by. Awakening. Naruto's visor glowed. As he glowed red, the light died down to reveal Naruto totally red, with a backpack behind him. Naruto dialed 143, and pressed enter. The blaster announced blade mode. Kanzaki gritted his teeth as the two charged again. This time Naruto proved to be stronger. He then dialed 5214, and pressed device announced, phase blaster, discharge. The bloody cannons flew into motion, and blasted Kanzaki away. Naruto then pressed enter again, and the device announced, exceeding charge. He jumped up, and kicked, coming down, as the hit landed on Kanzaki. Beams of energy erupted from Kanzaki, as he yelled in agony. The beams had cut the wall allowing Kasumi to see the final moments of the battle. Naruto jumped away, as Kanzaki reverted to human form. Kanzaki forced out, "Good, make good use of the power. I entrust you to protect our precious people from now on." Then he exploded into nothingness. Kasumi ran to Naruto, as he fell down. Naruto chuckled, "Guess the strain is finally getting to me." Kasumi sighed, "You're either the stupidest or luckiest person I've ever seen. Let's just go to sleep, you've had a long day." Naruto nodded, as he went unconscious. A few days have passed since the incident in Naruto's mind. Kasumi revealed her name to Hikari and Haruna. She also told the three not to tell Kushina, as she doesn't know. Kasumi also extended a link to Naruto so they could talk, meaning his three lovers could always hear his thoughts, and vice versa, though they could choose to not let him hear their thoughts, something Naruto had yet to learn, much to his ire. Now, Naruto was learning to wield the Midagabiryu, and using the Kaioryu orphanage form. Everyone was shocked when they saw him go into that form. They prepared to fight when he acted like he was going to attack them, scaring the shit out of them, which also resulted in the former human getting a massive beatdown from 6 worried angry tear-eyed girls. Now, Naruto was training using his wings. He focused chakra into his wings, and flapped, getting the results he wanted, a blast of icy air. He then heard Kasumi say, "Naruto-kun, I found that your chakra has a higher tone affinity in it now. Maybe you should ask Haku to help you with this." Naruto nodded, and decided he'd do that later. He flapped his wings hard, and blasted into the sky. He kept flapping, and found that if he quickened the pace, he'd fly up, and if he slowed the pace, he'd descend. After that, he trained in his shoulder spikes. They worked to trap enemies more than attacking, as he found that the spikes also made it hard for him to move. So he decided that he'd use it if he wanted to catch an enemy, by spiking them before freezing them up. Then, he tried out using his tail. Turns out his tail was like a normal one. He could actually feel things with it if he wanted to. It could also harden, and break things harder than a diamond. As for the Midagabiryu, he found using it to be incredibly easy. It also seemed that he was the only one able to hold it, as seen when Zabuza tried to hold it, only for it to crush the man's hand. As soon as the man let go, the axe sunk into the ground, seemingly forever following Naruto, as he dropped the axe at Izuna's home, and tried to summon it when he was in the forest or at the bridge. The axe could even be used as a gun bazooka if Naruto focused enough chakra in it. He had destroyed a huge part of an inhabitable island further from Nami when he tried it out. Speaking of the bridge, it was almost done. There was only 1 day of work left since they had raided Gato's mansion, and found more than enough money to supply the bridge. Now, Naruto and Zabuza were sparring. Naruto was holding the phase edge, parrying blows from Zabuza. Izuna watched from his almost completed bridge, as he didn't need to do much work now, courtesy of willing villagers, and 100 clones. How Naruto could fight Zabuza, who was using such a large sword with a sword so small like the phase edge, he will never know, nor will he ever know how could Zabuza hold such a large butcher knife-like sword. The two swordsmen yelled, "Amajiri Shinmei Ryu Kenjutsu." 4 wasps. They sent several stabs at each other, cuts appearing on each other before vanishing, and reappearing to stab their opponent, which was neutralized by each other's blows. They smirked, as they yelled, "Amajiri Shinmei Ryu Kenjutsu, 9-fanged longsword." They proceeded to slash at each other several times, each slash parrying the other. Then, a scroll dropped from the sky, as Zabuza caught it. The two then heard a female voice, "It's been a long time, Zabuza-chan. I see you've taken up a student." They turned, and saw 3 figures. The middle was a red-haired woman, the other 2 were men, one wore glasses with swords on his back, and the other a man with an eye patch. Zabuza said in surprise, "Mei, what are you doing here? Shouldn't you be back fighting Yugur?" Mei laughed, "That's old news, we defeated him, and I took on the Mizukage mantle. You do remember our bet, right?" Zabuza replied, "But I'm a missing nin." Mei smirked, "Not with the official pardon for you, and the Oni Kaidai in your hands." Zabuza's eyes widened, as he fell to his knees shouting, "Nuo." Naruto sweat dropped, and shook his head at his former sensei. Zabuza got over his stupor and said, "Fine, I guess I'll have to face the horrors of D ranks. So, Naruto, Haku will follow you back to Konoha. She wants to live with you anyway. So Mei, are we leaving now or should I wait till the bridge is finished?" Mei shrugged. "Met, you decided, and you'll either call me Mizuki-sama or Mei-chan. So, if you'll excuse me, I'll need to go back to Kiri to face, shudder, my paperwork." The three then left. Naruto asked, "So, are you going back now?" Zabuza shrugged. "Maybe, but I guess I'll stay till the bridge is done." Naruto nodded, as they went back to Tezuna's house. The day passed, as we now see Team 7 and 12, along with the group of former missing nin standing on the bridge in front of a bunch of villagers. Inari smiled. "Will we see you again, Naruto Nai, Tsukini, Yukini, Abu-san?" Mikoto smiled at her nephew. "We'll visit. I can't just leave my long-lost family behind now, can I?" Tsunami smiled at her sister. Tezuna was saying his goodbyes with Zabuza, who he had come to good terms with. The other girls and Kushina were just smiling at the scene. As for Naruto, well, he was, talking with his fangirls, well, sort of. The horde of fangirls said in unison, "Naruto-sama, you'll come back, right?" Naruto nodded, smiling nervously. Now he knew how Sasuke and Itachi felt. After that, the whole group set off. As they walked across the bridge towards the shores, Tezuna thought aloud, "Come to think of it, we never did name the bridge. How about the awesome Tezuna Bridge?" Tsunami facepumped with a few villagers. "It sounds like the awesome Tarzan Bridge." Inari then snapped his fingers. "I got it." He looked at the Naruto fangirls, as they all said, "The Great Naruto Bridge." Tezuna scratched his chin. Sounds great. In honor of the boy who set us free from the tyrant Gato." Everyone cheered. With Naruto and the others, Naruto suddenly sneezed. Hikari asked, "Ani-chan, are you fine?" Naruto nodded, as he rubbed his nose. Then, they reached the crossroad. Zabuza and the Oni-Kai-Dai walked to the left, opposite of Konoha. Haku asked, "Zabuza-sama, where are you guys going?" Zabuza looked at his tall daughter figure, and said, "Haku, we're going back to Kiri. Mei-chan is the Mizuki now. I want you to follow Naruto and the rest back to Konoha. Think of it as a last order from me." Haku was about to protest, but Zabuza raised his palm. "I want you to live your own life. You can't just follow me for your whole life. You always said you wanted to live with Naruto, here's your chance. I never saw you as my tool, even if I said I did, you were always, and still am, the daughter I wanted. So go to Konoha, and live your own life." Haku said nothing, and nodded before hugging her father figure master. After a few goodbyes, the three men walked towards Kiri. Maizu said, who knew Zabuza had a soft side. Zabuza growled at him, "If you ever mention this to anyone, I'll kill you." Gaozu laughed, as his brother nodded furiously. They then walked into the mist. Back with Team 7 and 12 plus Haku, they soon reached Konoha. Kushina saw Izumo and Kotetsu slacking off, and sent 2 chakra chains out of her hands, and gave them a wedgie, causing high-pitched yelps out of the two. Mikoto said, "Team 7 and 12 reporting from the C-rank mission to Nami. We also have a guest, so check her in." The Eternal Guards nodded, and did just that. The 2 teams and Haku then headed for the Hokage Tower. They entered, and gave their reports. Minato looked at his son. "You were taught Kenjutsu by Mamachi Zabuza, an A-rank Nukenin after you saved him from Onion." Naruto nodded. Minato rubbed his head. "You are either stupid or the luckiest person alive. Anyway, congratulations on completing a C-A rank mission, and unlocking your new part of the bloodline, Naruto. So that brings us to case 2, you said your name is Yuki Haku, yes?" Haku nodded. Minato continued, "And you wish to join the Konoha Shinobi Corps?" Haku nodded again. Minato sighed. "Fine, you'll be added to Team 7. Now comes where you'll be living." Haku said, "Oh no, if it's okay, can I live with Naruto-kun?" Everyone raised an eyebrow. Naruto thought, what the hell? Minato asked, You do know I'm his father, right? And you'll need to ask Kushi-chan about that." Kushina said, "Well, I'm fine with that." Minato sighed, "Okay, fine. The compound is big enough for all of us anyway. So we'll figure out which room you'll sleep in when we get back. Naruto, since she wanted to live with you, you'll show her around and help her settle in." The girls were slightly jealous, as that would mean Haku would be spending all day with their beloved Naruto. After that, Minato dismissed, leaving Kushina and Mikoto in the room, along with Jiraiya and Tsunade, who were called by Anbu. Minato said, "So, Naruto got his orphanage form. You sure he won't go berserk anymore? And what about Hikari-chan and Haruna-chan? He said they used the Kaibi's chakra." Kushina sighed. "In order, I'm not sure. I wouldn't worry about the girls though, they were in control even when they used the second tail. They used it when they saw Naruto getting killed before he used the orphanage form. They snapped out of it when Naruto got up and slaughtered the enemy though. And Zabuza told me Naruto was captured by Iwa when he almost killed Rashi. Turns out he met a man called Aramisakichi. They had a father-son relationship, and the man got killed in the most brutal way I've ever heard of. He was tortured before being buried in the ground, leaving his head above and kicking until the head came off." Yurai's eyes widened. "Naramisakichi, as in skull Naramisakichi. So that's how he died. and he and Naruto had a father-son relationship. Mikoto nodded. That's what we heard from Zabuza. Come to think of it, Naruto called Zabuza Zabuzanai, as well as the Oni Kaidai his brothers. Minato groaned. What is it with Naruto when it comes to missing nin? Kushina then said, wait, what do you mean Skull Naramisakichi? You mean this guy is the famed Skull? Jiraiya nodded. Naramisakichi, he was once Kumo's top shinobi, but went rogue after the Yondaime Reikage took the Reikage position. He never lost a single battle, as he used a skeleton base to kill. To hear him killed like that, Iwa must have done something to make him submit. They would have discussed more, but Anmu came in. Hokage-sama, the council wants you at a meeting. Several moments earlier, Naruto and the girls decided to have a snack at Ichiraku's. Now, the 7 people were having a nice meal at the store when Sakura and Sasuke walked in with Kiba at the back. Sasuke and Sakura were fed the lies of Nabuki about all kinds of stuff like they were the elites of Konoha, PFF, you're right, etc. The civilian council knew they could never turn Itachi to their side, so they settled for plan B, Aka getting Sasuke on their side, and one day getting him to challenge his brother. Though the young Uchiha feared 3 people, his mother and sisters. Sasuke said, Yuki ni, Tsuki ni. The girls replied, hello, Sasuke. And don't think about challenging Naruto-kun, or you know what will happen. Sasuke paled. He remembered the last time he challenged the blonde, utter humiliation and punishment from his adoptive sisters, and they were incredibly sadistic. Sasuke nodded and left, surprising Kiba and Sakura. After the 3 left, the group of 1 boy and 6 girls decided to have a stroll. They then saw the 5 civilian boys from before harassing a few girls. They walked to them and pushed the boys away. One of them raised his hand and was about to smack Haku before Naruto grabbed the hand and broke the wrist. Naruto said, if I ever catch you doing that, you'll suffer more than just a broken wrist. The boys then ran away to their parents. Now, Minato and Kushina entered the council chambers. Minato asked, what's the meaning of this? 5 councilmen, civilian ones obviously, said, Hokage-sama, your son assaulted our sons when they were minding their own business. Kushina sighed. Minato said, we'll see what my son has to say then, Anbu. 2 Anbu appeared. Minato said, bring Naruto here, and if possible, the girls, as well if they're with him. Hiashi was annoyed. You called a meeting because your son said Naruto assaulted them. You're wasting our time. Nabuki said, actually, Hyuga-sama. It's not a waste of time, they should know that even if they were Hokage-sama's children, they cannot attack people for minding their own business. That was bullshit, she just wanted to get back at the family. Soon, Anbu brought the group of 7 into the chambers. Minato said, Naruto, did you attack these 5 people? Naruto noticed the 5, and said, no, I did not attack them. They wanted to smack Haku-chan so I stopped him, and gave him a warning. If I attacked him, he'd have cuts or at least bruises, right? They nodded. Naruto continued, and they accused me of attacking them when they were harassing several girls. Hikari-chan, Haruna-chan, Haku-chan, Hinata-chan, Yuki-chan, and Suki-chan can attest to that. As such, I want to sue them for false accusations and harassing other people. The shinobi half of the council and the elders smiled. They all thought, well played, Naruto. Minato nodded. So, is there anything else? If not, the 5 will be submitted to doing a whole week of D ranks without pay for a whole day non-stop. Dismiss. The shinobi all then left the chambers via Haration, thanks to the Uzumaki Namika's siblings and Minato. The week had passed since the incident with the civilians. Several times Naruto would pass by and saw the 5 boys doing D-rank missions like washing the dishes, cleaning toilets that reeked of several weeks, carrying loads, etc. He also noticed that when they did work even academy students could do with ease, they sweated like they had gone to a marathon, something that made the blonde shake his head in disappointment. Naruto was walking alone, as his sisters, the Uchiha sisters, Hinata and Haku were at the hot springs with their mothers and other females. Kushina had warned Jiraiya to not peek into the female side of the hot springs this time, or he'll have hell to pay. The 3 siblings laughed at their godfather when he nodded furiously seeing Kushina's hair swinging wildly like Kasumi's tails. He then went to the training grounds and saw Kakashi training his students with Itachi. The 2 older Sharingan users were teaching the younger one, as 2 clones were teaching Sakura and Kiba each. Kakashi noticed Naruto, and I smiled. Ah, Naruto. Care to join us for training? Naruto, having nothing to do, shrugged, sure. Naruto walked to them, as he heard Itachi say, now, Sasuke, if you're going to unlock the Sharingan, you'll either train incredibly hard or you'll have to fight in life-death situations. So, are you ready? Naruto piped in, actually, Itachi. Mind if I help? I wanna see how Sasuke improves. Let him and I have an all-out spar, killing moves allowed, but if we're very close to killing each other, you guys stop us, that okay? Kakashi pondered with Itachi for a while. Sasuke was hoping for them to allow it, as he'd be winning anyway. Well, he'd either be able to pulverize the blonde, or he'd unlock the Sharingan, then pulverize the blonde. The 2 nodded. The 2 stood in position, as they prepared to fight. Kakashi snapped his fingers, as Itachi and Kakashi thought, so this is what Kaze and Kushina ni meant when she said Naruto had a new form. Sasuke drew kunai, as Naruto took out the Madagaburyu from the ground. Axe and kunai clashed, as the two boys charged. Sasuke jumped away, and did hand signs, Kaden. Kiryuenden. Naruto spread his wings, and flapped them, sending a blast of icy air quenching the flames, and coating the boy in ice slightly. Sasuke soon found himself unable to move quickly, as the ice slowed him down severely. Naruto then made his tail swing at Sasuke, who was too slow to dodge it. The tail reached closer, and Sasuke suddenly felt everything slow down, and dodged it at the last second. Naruto smirked as he saw the Uchiha's eyes, as well as Itachi and Kakashi. Naruto relaxed, and said, well, I guess the job is done. Kakashi, I hear you have a meeting with Yusan later with the sensei, shouldn't you be going? Kakashi smiled, I will, after half an hour. Naruto sighed, if you don't go, I'll tell Kaze-san where your secret stash of Ichi Golden Edition books are. Once, he accidentally found a safe box, and cracked the code, finding a whole collection of golden framed Ichi. Kakashi narrowed his eyes, you wouldn't. Naruto smirked, you sure? I can Haration, and tell her before you can do anything. Well, actually he wouldn't, since the girls and his mother were at the hot springs, and doing that would be absolute suicide. Kakashi sighed, fine, you win. I'll see you guys later. He then shunshin towards the Hokage tower. Itachi asked, isn't that meeting an hour later? Hokage-sama gave us the time in secret after telling everyone a fake time when Kakashi was present. Naruto smirked, that's the point. Itachi sighed, and trained the of Team 11, as Naruto left before the males of Team 11 could challenge him, or before the pink banshee could shout in high-pitched voices. With Jounin and Minato, the blonde Hokage was saying, so, this year's Chunin exams, who wants to enter their teams? Kushina and Mikoto had discussed, and said, we nominate Team 7 and 12 to enter the Chunin exams. Minato nodded, as Kakashi, Kurenai, Guy, and Asuma stood forward. I nominated the Team 8, 9, 10, 11 to enter the exams. Minato nodded, as others soon nominated their teams. Then Iruka, who was helping Minato with paperwork at the moment, said, I don't think Team 7 to 12 have the experience to enter yet, save Team 9 of course. They just graduated a few months ago. Team 7 and 12 I understand, as they just completed an A rank, albeit the mission was supposed to be a C rank, plus they have an A rank shinobi in the team. The others can't possibly have the experience Team 7 and 12 have, sending them in would be suicide, especially Team 11, as the team composition is not suitable with Sakura in it. Minato chuckled, Kakashi and the others owed him 100 ryo each now. They had bet when Iruka would have an outburst about the teams not having enough experience. Minato bet after others entered their teams while Kakashi, Kushina, Mikoto, Tsunade, and Jiraiya had bet before. Minato said, Iruka, what you're saying is true. But think about it, they all know the dangers of the exams. The sensei are just giving them a chance. If they enter, it's their choice knowing they may die. You taught them, have faith in them. As for Team 11, well, just pray for them. You sure you're gonna risk your team and Mikoto and Fugaku Fury if their son dies? Mikoto chuckled, don't worry about it, it's his choice if Sasuke enters, Fugaku, and I won't hold it against you if he dies. He may be my adoptive son, but that's the life of shinobi. Everyone looked at her in disbelief, otherwise, you dismiss. With Naruto and Haku, he was showing the ice girl around, continuing from last time since the village was big, and it'd take a week if not more, to show the girl around the whole village. He was bringing her to Chiricus's where he said to be in his own words the best place to eat, and where the food of the gods is served. Now, they were having ramen. Haku thought, this is actually good. Better than any other ramen I've had. Actually it's just because she's eating with Naruto. Soon, Tsusuna Shinobi entered the shop, as Aim served Naruto's fifth bowl, the male of the Tsusuna Shinobi, who was wearing a catsuit with a bandage-covered object on his back, and with warped makeup on his face, noticed Haku. He said, why, hello, may I know the name of the beautiful maiden I have the honor of meeting? The girl with the guy rolled her eyes at her brother's way of flirting, which is embarrassing in her opinion. Haku looked at the makeup guy, and said in a cold, Haku, now please don't bother me, I'm trying to have ramen. Then Haku went back to happily talking to Naruto. Then suddenly, Haku felt unable to move. She moved towards the guy, as he pulled with chakra strings. He saw a red blade stick, whatever the phase edge is made of, as it's like a staff that can cut with no sharp edges. At his neck, held by one angry yet calm Naruto. The blonde said, let her go or I'll make you regret trying to do that to my girlfriend. He emphasized girlfriend, causing Haku to blush, as they hadn't made it official. The boy huffed, I am the eldest son of the Kaze, she should be honored. His sister beside wanted to fassip him, but still made no attempt, as she would if he crossed the line. Naruto said, this ain't Suna, and you're here, as guests for the Chunin exams if I'm not mistaken. The boy was red with anger, he released the hold on Haku, and reached for the package on his back. The girl with him had her eyes widened, Kankuro, you seriously thinking of using Karasu? Naruto smirked, if you wanna fight, let's go somewhere more suitable. He materialized the phase driver, and the two Sunanin had their eyes the size of plates. The girl stuttered, Gomenasai, Phase Sama, we apologize, please forgive us. Naruto was confused, but said, fine, but if he does it again, I'll make him suffer. The girl nodded, as the two ran away. Haku said, still blushing, Arigato, Naruto-kun. Naruto replied, it's fine, Haku-chan. Nobody can just force themselves upon someone else, especially not you. Haku then said, oh no, about the girlfriend thing. Naruto blushed, I'm sorry about that, it's just so that I can get him off of you. Haku looked away and said, you know, I heard you have the crop and I don't mind being your girlfriend. Naruto gaped, well of course he'd gape, Haku was, and still is one of the most beautiful girls he'd ever met. It was his turn to stutter, why you mean it? Haku nodded, and kissed him on the lips. After kissing for a full minute, Aim coughed, if you're gonna have a make-out session, Naruto, please do it at home. Tucci who was cooking shook his head, as the two teens quickly ate, and went home, well not before paying of course. At night, after having dinner with Haku, Jiraiya who came back from a mission with Tsunade and Kakashi, the new Team 7 were given slips for the exams, which they accepted, and were ready to go to the academy for it the next day. Tsunade and Jiraiya went on a mission so they didn't know Haku before this day, when they were introduced to each other. Tsunade was surprised to have a new housemate, but got along with the girl, as the ice girl had an interest in medical ninjutsu, and stuff like that, she even took her as an apprentice. Haku was shocked that Naruto was related to so many famous, and not to say strong people. As for Jiraiya, you guessed it, or not, he gave Naruto thumbs up, and started looking over her for his books before receiving a chakra-enhanced punch, and a phase shot-enhanced punch from Tsunade and Naruto respectively. Late at night, Haku, Hikari, and Haruna had agreed with each other to sleep with Naruto. So imagine the boy's surprise when he found both of his sisters beside him, and Haku on top of him. He had a nosebleed, and blushed like a tomato when he saw their almost transparent nightgowns. Unfortunately, and unknown to the boy, Jiraiya was spying on him, and the girls from the window. He chuckled perversely, as he thought, oh almighty gods, my godson is a goldmine, with this, I can even make a sequel for Ichiichi. Trials of Apollo, maybe the sequel shall be named, Ichiichi. Trials of Apollo. The Ice Princess. Yes, Haku shall appear in the second series. Next day, the teams all woke up, and headed for the academy. Team 7 and 12 stood at the entrance of the academy, and smirked at each other. Naruto said, so, girls, it's time for the Chunin exams. Start our engine. The girls smiled at their boyfriend's enthusiasm, and nodded. Team 7 and 12 entered the academy, and saw Team 9, they greeted each other. Tenten then whispered, when we reach the second floor, I'm gonna fake acting like that floor is the third floor, so I need you guys to play dumb, and just go to the third floor. Izumo and Kotetsu have been assigned to fool them, lessening the competition. The two teams nodded, as they headed for the third floor. As the three teams entered, Tenten started her act, and was almost going to succeed. Well, we have number 1 Uchiha Sasuke to thank for that. Yuki and Suki scolded their brother, Baka. It was to weed out the weaklings, you just made the chance of us passing harder. Sasuke said, how was I supposed to know? Kiba said, I did tell him about that, but he wanted to rub it into the faces of those who didn't spot it. Yuki and Suki sighed, and rubbed their temples, they seriously had an idiot for a brother, albeit an adoptive one. Then, a loud voice yelled, Sasuke-kun. Then a blonde and purple blur appeared crashing into the Uchiha, followed by Sakura who jumped on the boy, as well. The guy with specs and white hair walked to them, seriously, this ain't a field trip. You make the exams look like a joke, and more importantly, us. Please tone it down. Naruto narrowed his eyes, name. The guy chuckled, well, since you asked so nicely, I'm Yakushi Kabuto. Tell you what, since we're Konohinin, and you're all rookies, I'll give you some information, anyone in particular you wanna know. Sasuke smirked, and said out loud, yes, I want info on Uzumaki Namikaze Naruto, and Sabaku no Gar. Naruto wanted to punch the lights out of the city now. As soon as his name was mentioned, several Iwa shinobi whipped their heads in his direction, and glared at him, who glared back with more intensity, making them flinch, and turn away. Kabuto chuckled, name already, this is so boring. Uzumaki Namikaze Naruto, he left the village at the age of 9. Throughout the years, he got captured by Iwa with a man called Narumi Sakichi, aka the Skull. Naruto then escaped, and killed a huge portion of Iwa's forces, and gained A rank status for almost killing Rashi, Jinchuriki of the Yambi. His entry in the bingo book is Kamen Rider phase, holy shit. It is also said that he trained under Mamachi Zabuza, and learned the Amajiri Shinmei Kenjutsu. This got the attention of Karinin. Kabuto was about to continue when the info card in his hand suddenly burst into flames. Kabuto looked up, and saw Naruto sheathing the phase edge. Kabuto cursed, shit, Orochimaru-sama hasn't read it yet. We need info on him, he'll be mad. Kabuto sighed, such a spoilsport, never mind. On to Gar, he is able to use sand at will, killed at a young age, has done 40 D ranks, 30 C ranks, and 15 B ranks, never had a hit on him during the missions, otherwise, nothing noteworthy. Naruto, Hikari, and Haruna, then heard Kasumi's voice. I sense three here, the Gar guy is Shukaku's, those two Kumonin, the tall black guy, and the blonde girl are Jinchuriki of the Niabi, and Hichibi. I wouldn't need to worry about those two, I was close to both of them. As for Shikaku, be wary of him. The three nodded back, as smoke came out in the front of the room, and out came a scarred-faced man with a bandana on his head. He said, "Now, the test is about to start, so get to your seats, pronto." They quickly went to their assigned seats. Naruto found himself sitting with Hinata and Suki, in front was Yuki, and behind were his sisters, and Haku. He was basically surrounded by his girlfriends. What luck. Soon Ibiki told them the rules, well, you know them, and distributed the papers. Ibiki said once more, "You have an hour and a half, now begin." Naruto looked at the papers, and saw that they were all questions, and Naruto had read about them in the clan library, so he quickly wrote down the answers in 20 minutes. He scanned the room, and found people cheating. His sisters were no doubt talking with Kasumi, Yuki, and Suki, as well as Sasuke were copying answers with the hand movements, while Hinata and Nichi were using the Byakugan. He looked up, and saw Lee, Tenten, and Haku using mirrors to get the answers, while ice mirrors in Haku's case. Kiba was getting answers from Akamaru, Shino was using Kakachu bugs to get answers, while Gaara was using a sand-made third eye. Ibiki looked at the genin, and thought, most of them are good, though not enough. Suddenly, a kunai flew past Naruto hitting the table of Akiri. The boy stood up and said, "What's the big idea?" The kunai said, "You were caught cheating more than 5 times, get your teammates, and yourself out of here." Number 50, 51, 52, fail. 2 others stood up, and left with the guy. Then Kankuro raised his hands, "Can I use the washroom?" Ibiki nodded, as Kankuro walked out, and came back in with the chunin. Coincidentally, Kankuro suddenly got the answers, as he wrote it down. Ibiki smirked at Kankuro knowingly, as he knew exactly what Kankuro had done. He then looked outside the window where a few were gathering on the roof. On the roof, Kushina, Mikoto, Asuma, Kakashi, Kurenai, and Anko were talking. Asuma said, "Great, they're so gonna fail now." Ibiki's the proctor. Kurenai, who had just turned when the genin teams were made, didn't have a clue who Ibiki was, and asked, "Why?" Anko smiled at her friend, and said, "You just turned a few months back, of course you wouldn't know." See, Ibiki is our top interrogator, with me being the second, as he's my sensei. Ibiki can make prisoners crack in less than an hour in a cell with mind games, and if I know him, which I do, he'd use mind games to play with them, making them unknowingly volunteer to give up their chances of becoming the seer. Kushina and Mikoto smirked, "Well, we wouldn't worry about our teams." Kakashi deadpanned, "Your team has Naruto in it, Kushina ni, who got A-rank status already now, earlier than any of us in terms of age." Kushina smiled, "True." Kakashi continued, "And with Naruto, Mikoto-sama's team won't quit with Naruto keeping their confidence up." Mikoto also smiled at the Cyclops, since she didn't need to worry about her team unlike the others. Back with Naruto, he saw that he still had an hour, and started to sleep. Ibiki, and the Chunin, as well as Naruto's girlfriends all sweat dropped, as Naruto started snoring, with a bubble coming out of his nose, as he did so. Soon, the time was up, and Naruto woke up, as Ibiki shouted, "Time's up, pencils down, kid wake the fuck up." Naruto sat up groggily, and said, "What, it's time?" Ibiki ignored him, and said, "Good, now it's time for the 10th question. Now, there are gonna be rules. Number 1, if you choose to take this question, you will either pass or never get the chance to be or higher." A random person from Iowa shouted, "That's ridiculous. There were others who took the test before." Ibiki said, as he looked at the boy, "Then they have never had me as the proctor. These are my rules now, so take it or leave it. I will give you a chance to back out, and fail this time, but take the exam another time." Soon, a whole bunch of teams dropped out. All that's left is the Konoha Genin rookie teams, and Kabuto's team, Gaara's team, the Kumo Jinchurikis's teams, 2 Iowa teams, 2 Kiri teams, an Odo teams, 2 Kusa teams, and 2 AIM teams. Ibiki said once more, "Anyone else? Keep in mind this is your last chance." Naruto looked around, and felt it was a good number with less competition, so he laughed. Ibiki narrowed his eyes, "What's so funny, boy?" Naruto stopped his laughter, and said, "To the fact that your bluff is so stupid it actually works. You do know that we can get a field promotion or just get one if our own cage deems us ready, right? Plus, are you really gonna believe that the cage of other villages will forbid them from advancing, preventing their forces from growing stronger? Well, in us Konoha Genin's cases, you could, but, as for the other villages, it's a fucking freaking noob idea." Ibiki wanted to smack the kid for saying that about his ideas, but he only twitched his hands. Naruto's girlfriends on the other hand were fearing for the blonde boy, since they knew exactly who it was that Naruto was berating. Ibiki then said, "I could use an idea that would make you immediately drop out, but I let this slide once since you do have a point, and actually thought of it. So, all I have to say to you now, is you pass." Sasuke, Sakura, and Kiba, who knew what was coming, Ibiki, and surprisingly Naruto, counted in their minds along with his sisters, and Kasumi, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, boom. The whole class erupted. "What?" The girl from Suna said, "Then where is the 10th question?" Naruto sighed, "There is no 10th question. Well, technically, the take or leave option is the 10th question, right, Scarface?" Ibiki ignored the Scarface comment and said, what the blonde smartass said. The 10th question is the take or leave option. In missions, there are times where you'll have to make tough choices. You'll either choose the mission and risk your life, and team, or you save your team and yourself and forsake the mission. The choices I gave you were based on that. You either take the question, which is the mission, or you get the promotion next time, which is your life. I know that the Shinobi Code says to live as long as you can, but sometimes you must risk it, and you just showed the requirements for A. So, all I have to say is. He didn't say anything, as a black object came flying in. It opened up to be a banner that said, Mitarashi Enko, Proctor number 2 is here. A woman followed in, and shouted, so, let's go to the second stage, yeah. She pumped her fist, as a crow flew by cawing, Baka, Baka. Biki sighed, Enko, you're early. Enko smiled sheepishly, am I, sorry about that. 20 teams, ha, you're losing your touch. I'll cut them in half. So, as I said, let's go to the next stage, Training Ground 44. After a while, and by a while, I mean half an hour, the genins finally gathered at the training ground. Enko said, so, welcome to Training Ground 44, otherwise known as the Shinomori. Thunder erupted from within the forest, and scared the wits out of there, well, some of them. Naruto then said out loud, it's been a while since I came here. Enko raised an eyebrow, thinking, so he's taking the exams, huh? I thought he'd take the promotion Hokage-sama offered him, since he's an A-rank shinobi, and killed Iwa's forces like his father. Outside she said, oh. She suddenly threw a kunai at the reminiscing boy who just raised his fingers, and caught the kunai in the ring with his index finger, before putting the phase edge behind himself, right where Enko's neck was. They all had whitened eyes, as they didn't even sense the woman move, and that Naruto countered her quickly. Enko got away from Naruto, and continued, so, after you sign this, which is an agreement if you die, and we won't be held responsible, you'll get a scroll, either 10 or Tsuchi. To pass the test, you need both, and reach the tower. I'll warn you though, do not open the scrolls if you have both before you reach the tower, and do not open them if you have only one. On missions, you may get important documents, and you are not to open them, I'm sure you know that, right? Getting nods, she told them to hop to it. After that, all the teams were assigned to their respective gates. Enko said via microphone, now, I'm sure everyone is at their gates. So, begin. The gates flew open, as the Genin Chunin hopefuls all rushed into the forest. As soon as Naruto and his sisters got to a fair distance from the gates, he signaled them to stop, and extended his senses to search for the Uchiha sister and Hinata's team. After a full minute, which was considered long by shinobi standards, well that is if you're in a forest that is incredibly dangerous, in which case, they were. Naruto said, Hikari-chan, Haku-chan, Haruna-chan, Tsuki-chan, Hinata-chan, and Yuki-chan are a mile due east. We'll join them, and get our scrolls together, okay? The girls nodded, as the team of siblings lovers sped towards the east. As they jumped over the trees, screams of terror were heard, as liquid splattering the ground was heard, creeping the two girls out. Naruto and Haku were indifferent, as they had their fair share of kills. Soon, they finally reached the team, and saw Team 11 with them. Yuki, Tsuki, and Hinata smiled when they saw their fiancé's team. Team 11 didn't say anything, as Sasuke wanted to live. Sakura was too occupied with fawning over Sasuke, while Sai was merely observing Team 7. Yuki said, now Naruto-kun is here, we should work together to get our own scrolls. It would be faster that way, right? Team 12 and 7 nodded. Team 11 wanted to protest, but one quick glare from Tsuki shut them up, before nodding, as well. As Hinata was searching the area with Naruto extending his senses, they found the AIM teams and Iwa teams together coming their way, fast. Naruto smirked, well, looks like we've got a 4-on-3 match coming right up. As if on cue, a male voice was heard, damn right you are, we AIM teams are getting the scrolls, while the Iwa teams are just gonna pound you Namikaze idiots into the ground. The Iwa all grunted in approval, as the obvious leader said, you'll pay for what your bastard father did to us, and you yourself, damn bastard. Naruto said in reply, I don't care if you hate us for our father, but you Iwa fuckers killed the man I looked up as my father, I won't stop until every one of you are slaughtered. He then immediately went into orphanage form holding the Midagaburyu, and charged them. The other decided to deal with the AIM teams. The Iwa all shot earth at the Dino-themed orphanage, but he batted them away like they were flies, sometimes cutting them in half. He slammed the axe into one of the genin, and decapitated the poor boy. Well, he deserved it, in Naruto's opinion. Naruto turned to another, and unleashed a blast of cold air, giving Haku an advantage for her ice in the process. The Iwa was frozen from bottom to the top, before he was broken into a million pieces from Naruto slamming the frozen with his tail. The other Iwa shouted, you'll pay for that, you bastard. Naruto replied, I'd like to see you try. Even the best of your so-called shinobi forces couldn't stand up to me, as I killed all of them in my weakest form. How in the 9 fucking hells do the 6 of you weak genins can ever hope to even scratch me in one of my strongest forms? He sent the shoulder spikes, and impaled 2 of them in the hearts, instantly killing them. He turned to the last 2 standing. Raising his axe, he focused energy into the blade and said, "Blame your elders for being too arrogant. They couldn't beat my father during the war. They couldn't beat me a few years ago. You Iowa freaks sure as hell have no hope in beating us now." He swung the blade. A larger blade of energy came out the axe, cutting the two remaining Iowa in half. This is like IG using the many cell metals and cutting Prof Maki in the final battle, except it succeeds in killing the targets unlike an OOO. When the fight started, Team 7, well the girls of the team anyway, handled the first aim team with Team 12, while Team 11 fought the other team. After the wave of cold air blasted the area, Haku started to use her ice mirrors, Hyoten. Naku Hyasho. The mirrors appeared as Haku stepped into them. Haku was the best to fight the AIM teams, since they used water-based, while AIM was basically a weaker version of Kiri, in terms of shinobi forces anyway. The leaders of both villages, well Kiri can never hope to win against the leader of AIM, cough pain cough. So, the first team was soon porcupines, their scrolls taken. As for Team 11, well, they were having a hard time. Sakura was useless, only shrieking when Sasuke was about to get hurt. Come to think of it, her damn screaming distracted the same team with ear ruptures, so in a weird, stupid way, she was useful. Sasuke was careless, and always let an opening slip by, and would have been killed if Sakura hadn't come to the rescue with her damn banshee voice. So he was the best for now. Using the paint he used, he was able to fight a 2-on-1 battle, and win. Naruto, the rest of Team 7, and Team 12, looked at the pathetic fight. Well, you can't call it a fight, since it was so stupid even academy students could do it if you taught them the use, then you can do a reenactment of the fight exactly the same way, none of it will have to be changed. Soon, the fight ended in Team 11's victory. Luckily, they got all their acquired scrolls, and were heading to the tower. As the teams were jumping through trees, Sai was suddenly blasted away from the group. The group was surprised when a woman dropped down, and spoke, an unbranded Hyuga, 3 Chiha, 2 of the Kyuubi vessels, 1 Hyoten user, and 1 right gear user. I could take all of them, and get the final one to strengthen my own. As for the vessels, I could get the Akatsuki off me with them. They all slid into battle stances, as Naruto went into phase form. The woman licked her lips with her tongue like a snake. Naruto's eyes widened. As he knew only one person could do that, he growled, "Orochimaru." The woman laughed, and ripped off her masked face, revealing the snake. He smiled at the writer. "I still haven't paid you back for stealing my specimens, Naruto-kun." Naruto said nothing to them. He addressed the others. "I want you to stay out of the fight. I'm not sure if I can take him on myself, so you guys have no chance of all. Stay safe, and do not interfere if you want your lives, Sasuke especially. Your sisters love you, and I won't let them get sad even if I dislike you. Kappas, everyone." They nodded, as Naruto leaped at Orochimaru who had his smile on. Naruto threw a punch, as Orochimaru dodged. "You're quite slow, Naruto-kun. I heard you killed a whole portion of Iwa's forces. I wonder what made you do it. Perhaps it had something to do with Mr. Narumisakichi." Naruto growled, "You have no right to say his name." He drew the phase edge, as Orochipido drew the Kusanagi, and parried the energy blade. The group noticed Naruto was getting more aggressive every second. He was usually calm and collected, so it meant that Narumisakichi meant a lot to Naruto for the blonde to actually lose his cool in a fight. Orochimaru smirked and laughed. "I know you're holding back. I know you defeated your father. But you'll come to see this as your downfall." He caught Naruto off guard by wrapping the blonde's armored hand with his long tongue, before coating all of his fingers with the purple fire, yelling, "God you're fuin," and slammed his hand onto Naruto's stomach before he could react, blasting the blonde away into a tree. Orochimaru then looked at the remaining. He smirked, "Now, for you." His neck extended, and bit Sasuke, but before he could do the others, Naruto shot out of the tree he was slammed into, and knocked the Sannin away in orphanage form. He growled out, pressing his axe and sword against the Kusanagi. He growled, "You will not touch any of my girls." Unknown to everyone, inside of Naruto, the two mountains were releasing energy at the same time, a result of the seal which was destroyed immediately, but the effects were done, not messing Naruto's chakra like it was supposed to, but messing with his other. The energy collided. In the middle of the energies, where the two met, a small object was sprouting out of the ground, slowly, but surely, releasing a red energy. Back outside, Orochimaru cursed. He only marked Sasuke, but he couldn't mark the others. Damn that Minato's son. He could also feel Naruto slowly overpowering him, so he did the only thing he could, escape. After Orochipido vanished via Kourimi, Naruto saw that Sasuke had passed out, and he felt a weird energy before it faded away. He said tiredly, "Why not rest a while here, for the night? We've got 4 more days left anyway. I can set up a barrier around us. I'm too tired to move on anyway." Everyone nodded, as they went to find a spot, not noticing 2 males, and 1 female following them closely, masking their presence well enough to not get caught. Naruto and the others found a tree large enough with a small cave in it, that was somehow enough to fit 9 people. Naruto made the seal, and put it on a tree, making a barrier with a 20-meter diameter. Unknown to anyone, the 3 that followed them were inside the barrier, and were resting on a treetop at the edge of the barrier, deciding to make their move the next day. The next day, Naruto and the others were up. Well, Sasuke was still asleep, so they decided to rest up more for a little while. Well, the girls and Sai went back to sleep anyway. Naruto suddenly felt three presences in the barrier. He ran out and saw the three Odo. One was a boy with gauntlets, another was a boy with a helmet, for the lack of a better word, which was like the nickname, and finally, a black-haired girl who was carrying bags. Looking at the boys, they were carrying too little equipment, so that would mean the girl was carrying the load for them, and she didn't like it or the two boys. Naruto narrowed his eyes. How did you get in here? I felt no one even getting through my barrier. The gauntlet boy laughed. We were in it in the first place. You made it with a 10-meter radius. Of course we could get in, we only needed to mask our presence. Now, before you ask, Naruto was too tired so he didn't sense them. The helmet boy then said, now, if you let us kill the male Uchiha, we'll then be off. Naruto shook his head. If you kill him, Yuki-chan and Suki-chan will get sad, even if I don't like that bastard. So no, I won't let you kill him. The two boys then smirked. The girl was slightly scared from the look of her face. The boys said, we were hoping you'd say that. Then they charged. Naruto, fully rested, just smacked them around the barrier for full minutes before letting them drop to the ground. The gauntlet boy growled, why are you standing there, you damn bitch? Help us defeat this guy. The girl couldn't move quick enough to even fight, and said, how can I move with these? The helmet boy growled, just help us, Tei isn't here to save you, bitch. Naruto sighed. He wasn't a cold-hearted bastard. Looking at this, he was going to smack the boys for insulting the girl, even if they were enemies. If there was something Mito and Sakichi taught the blonde, it was that no men, or boys, should ever treat a girl like shit, unless they were fangirls. And Naruto knew from the look on the girl she wasn't a fangirl, unlike a pink banshee, and a blonde bitch whose parents were trying to get through, with no avail. Ino will still be a fangirl, only not berating others for being stronger or not giving what Sasuke wants, just fawns over him. Suddenly, a dark purple torrent of chakra came out of the tree, instantly knocking out the non-suspecting girls, and Sai who were too close, and undefended from the chakra, sending them into a deeper sleep, again. Sasuke walked out, marks on his body. The godlike guy had his eyes shrink in fear. The curse mark user, fuck, Orochimaru didn't say anything about a curse mark, he used us. Zaku was about to say something, but couldn't, as Sasuke had appeared in front of the two, and had stabbed their necks with kunai, killing them. Looking at the girl, he strode towards her, and was about to rip off her clothes, as the girl backed away, but was stopped by Naruto. He asked, what are you doing, Sasuke? He said the sentence in a dangerous tone. He hated rapists, since they were the lowest of shit in the types of people. Sasuke glared at the blonde. You should mind your own business, you damn traitor. Naruto said nothing, as he threw the Uchiha onto the ground, walking up to the idiot, and gave a chakra-enhanced kick on the stomach, knocking the boy out, making the marks recoil back into the seal that was now visible on the neck. He then looked at the girl. What's your name? The girl replied, Tsuchikin. Naruto nodded. Sorry about your teammates, since they're dead, you should come with us to the tower. Kin nodded. Also, I want to defect to Konoha, if that's fine. Naruto curled an eyebrow. Why? Kin said, fidgeting her fingers. Well, you see, there's a guy called Orochimaru who came to my village. He took control, and made the place a living hell. My sister and I trained as his shinobi, she became his elite, and I am still a genin. I can't take it anymore. When we came here, I saw how this place is. I want to live here, away from Odo. Naruto then asked, what about your sister? Kin said, I can convince her. There's an invasion planned by Orochimaru and Suna during the finals. I want to tell the Hokage when I transfer to Konoha. Naruto nodded. Fine, I can get an audience with my father for you. Now, just rest, you'll need it. Kin gaped, as she was having a conversation with the Hokage's son, and felt lucky, as she might get the chance she wanted, then followed the boy to rest. Thanks for watching my video, and make sure to check out the author of this fanfic. Link is in the description. See you next time, till then sayonara.